Yeah, we're live. I know I'm wearing a hood inside. Sorry, guys, give me a sec. Good afternoon, everybody. Holy shit, this phone's lagging quite a bit. Yes, dear.
My shoes are still soaked from last night.
Oh, great. Oh my gosh.
That's how bad it was out last night. It was fucking piss pouring down rain. We came in soaked, like soaked to the bone. I actually had to trap Gizzy in the bathroom to try and get her dry. I used my striped shirt. And I'm like, I backed her into the corner next to the door and I'm trying to rub her ass down with it. And she's just trying to lick herself and chew on the shirt and like, what the hell's going on, man? What's going on? You first made me endure that wet, nasty crap, now this?
Interesting.
Oh, Nelly, a topic we will keep on talking about in the future, I presume, guys, with Call of Duty, Black Ops, Cold War, and SBMN. It's an epic Tim the Tatman rant, which went on for a long, long time. In case you missed it a few days back, I'm going to cut that down for a few key points he makes, including that of Call of Duty pros like Scump and the lack thereof of impressive KDs because of SBMN, a topic we have touched on in the past, and I certainly will be probably ongoing, especially as more Call of Duties are released.
Where's the
Black
Canfield?
Ops, Cold War, the Cold Black War,
Did you grab yours out? Or? Yeah, I wanted to try this new one.
Yeah, it's tough to pronounce, so forgive me, guys. Here is Tim the Tatman talking about SBM and Call of Duty and how it just sucks and is trash and a lot of other things that he goes on to talk about.
Crying on Twitter again about SBMM. Yeah, but in Jack's defense, SBMM is one of the stupidest things that's ever existed in video gaming history. So I thought
That's pretty fun, isn't it?
I don't know.
To the bottom of the world and hit the ocean. I did, but this says a lot. I'm smart enough to know that SBMM is literal dog shit, bro. Trash.
You want it?
It's trash. It's trash, man. It's garbage.
I don't like it.
I don't like it either.
Dump it, please, or I'll dump it.
That tastes like a soured version of cotton candy.
Yeah.
If you have a rank,
I don't. That just wow. How he came up with that flavor is beyond me. Or how they came up with that, inspired by Cutie Pie.
That is your ranked skill-based matchmaking mode. There's no reason for SBMM to be a casual. No. I'm gonna tweet that, bro. SBMM is dog shit. If you think otherwise, unfollow. I just tweeted. Because if you can't understand why SBMM in a non-ranked mode is stupid. I don't know if I want you to call it.
But even more so in his final thoughts, he talks about something that is certainly it's interesting. I'll say that. I know there are a lot of different thoughts out there and opinions on SPMM. I'll keep it pretty similar to what Tim did say. You know, if there is a ranked playlist and a casual playlist, if there are those two separate things, then ranked can have SPMM and the casual playlist should not. I think what the problem we're running into with a lot of games out there is they don't have those two options, and thus they are kind of forced into naturally selecting SPMM to kind of attune to the general public and a lot more. I can't fault them for when it comes time for a Call of Duty title, as many of pros like Scump have actually talked about, and many others. Why not have a ranked playlist? Something Nadeshot has called for time and time again. You should be able to, with Call of Duty money and player base, have a ranked playlist and have a casual playlist. Have one have SPMM and the other not to have that. I think a lot of us can agree when it pertains to Call of Duty in this circumstance, that is the issue. Unfortunately, so for a lot of games out there, we don't see those two separate playlists, and thus we're generally going to see more SPMM than not. Here's Tim the Tatman even bringing up Scumpy's KD for alluding to a big problem with SPMM and Call of Duty.
Let's go on SPMM right here. You guys ready for this? Here's my final thoughts, and I'm going to talk about Activision. I'm going to talk about Cold War, because it's obviously the newest game that came out, okay? If you have professional Call of Duty players.
I took 4 out and left you 3.
Here.
Scump.
Because I got my new pack, remember?
Sensor, you got these guys that
are
playing.
That's fresh.
No.
They do not have above.
That's your pack. This is my pack.
KD.
Oh, okay.
Something's broken. Something's not right there. Okay. Scump.
Not unless you just want to take 10 of these to work with you.
A 2 KD.
No, I'll keep my pack.
Call of Duty. It is.
Don't need you going all smokeaholic on us.
Yeah, I know.
Gizmo, get out of her butt. She can clean herself just fine.
Better than all of you. Than all of us.
That is not how kitties say
I
that.
have like a 1-4 KD in Warzone. I'm sorry.
We're probably going to be sitting over there for a while.
I haven't played that much, and I did pretty well my first 2 games. So I have a higher KD. Why is my KD 0.6 off of Scumpy, who has literally made hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars at Call of Duty? Is anyone paying attention?
And then even further bouncing off that, someone like Sensor, a few days even before all this, making an equivalent argument, showing his Call of Duty pro player friends list, or a lot of them so, and none of them actually breaking a 2-0 KD, kind of correlating exactly to what Tim the Tatman did say. Even a guy like Crimson not cracking a 2-0
You're gonna need a
KD
jacket.
at the point of course, that
You want
screenshot
this one?
being taken. It goes to show, obviously, if Call of Duty League pros and heavy, even their challenger players, right, the tippity top at the 0.001% can't even break a 2-0 KD. Something is certainly awry, and I can't speak too much from it because, luckily enough, I'm still putting the lobbies with bots, and I'm frying. So, that's pretty sick. And I'll let you guys know next week if that's still the case. As per usual, what do you think about this? Tim the Tatman gives an epic rant. If you guys want to check out the bot, it's like 27 minutes. Just make it point after point. What do you guys think about that SPMM and Call of Duty? Will it ever be away with? I don't know. We should get left on the show, to be honest, because that would be an interesting debate. Next time, take a sip for me. Stay hydrated. I'll see you back here sometime
Esports
soon.
talk. Look what you can do with your Xbox now. Ping pong ball.
Yeah.
Difference, you can't cook for nothing. I could cook the best lamb ribs. Put the lamb in the pot, add water, put salt. More. This is how it's supposed to be, man. Water. Some olive oil. Salt. A lot of effort. I'll put it in the oven. You chefs on TikTok be making things complicated. It's not complicated. It's not. No, that is how you cook it. Real chef.
Alright.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's your boy John Cabana. I ordered stuffed crust, bacon and cheese from Pizza Hut. They call this stuffed. That's what they call stuffed. There's barely anything there.
Now essential look will be feel the aim. Let it go. There we go. It's a little bit better. I don't want to glance. That's your way. Not really important. Just make sure no one's walking in the light. You know what I'm saying? That grouping. Good grouping. Alright, well, I'm here to.
The best burger at McDonald's costs under $5. It's a McDouble and a junior chicken. Take off the bottom bun because there's no sauce. Not either one of them. Connect.
All right, babe, I'm gonna get going.
And they make some amazing sandwich.
Alright, baby, I love you. Have a good day at work.
Oh wait, you wanted to help me? You wanted me to help you get that deal?
Should we do it right now?
Yeah. Better now than later.
Hold on, let me make this comment.
You know, Leanne would have a field day if she saw that out there.
If somebody was calling, it was calling the, let me use the restroom first, please. Did you have your headphones?
Yes, it has my headphones.
Okay. Again too.
Oh, I should probably take my searches even with me.
The allergy pill?
Yeah. Take them next to work.
Woo! It is cold outside. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot to take this and dump it and throw it away, but So I got done. I tried the PewDiePie's game feel that he has, or the G feel that's inspired by PewDiePie. In all honesty, I don't like it.
Yeah. This is the bathroom that we're just going to remove the wallpaper and carefully remove these. Oh no, that escalated quickly. Where's the tub? Okay, shower pan. Party backer with a niche.
Who the hell elected you and put you in charge of what the media are allowed to report and what the American people are allowed to hear?
Well, we're not doing that. And this is why I opened this hearing with.
Demonstrators in Thailand pushed past barricades outside Parliament on Tuesday. As police fired back with water cannons and tear gas. The worst violence the country.
The Dow lost 344 points, maybe exceed 400,000 people.
New York City's public school district built a COVID-19 self-testing kit.
Biden's more than 20,000 vote lead in the state with
Asking that question, I don't think it's an option at all. Well, I don't really care what you think. But today I'll get a chance to visit the Golan Heights. The simple recognition of this as part of Israel.
Superhero sequel Wonder Woman 1984 will U.S. House Democrats on Wednesday. Vote actual Roblox has been confronted with some uncomfortable issues. Searchers have found it.
So the Wolverine Inferno just playing with the FCU. The rough.
So earlier today, my cousin Abby gets me a call, asked to borrow $500 to pay her rent because she's late. I said, well, let me think about it. I'll give you a call back. Well, before I called her back, my aunt called and she says, don't give Abby that money. She's going to take her right down to the jail, bail out her boyfriend so they can be under the same roof for his birthday. Well, I started thinking about it. You know, people fall on hard times, so I decided to give her the money. Well, a couple hours later, she calls me back. Why did you give me that counterfeit money? The jail's keeping it, and they're going to put me in jail, and I'm just going to be here stuck. And I said, Abby, I thought it was the cousinly thing to do, and now you'll be under the same roof with your boyfriend for his birthday, and you won't even have to worry about that rent money.
Ouch. Ouch.
Every once in a while.
I said no.
Stay right there. It's not gonna knock you over. You're not gonna feel it. Come in. Right here, sit right here. Sit right here, please.
Wow.
I'll walk you guys through this. Okay. First off, you have to be used to heights. This is so high. You gotta put the pump right in the sweet spot. Make sure it's a little to the right of the ramp. Let's get this. Hit up the corner. Shut down. Please. I got it in that one. Here's the situation. We're in a 1v4 at the bottom of the dam. The other team has height. You would think this is a guaranteed second place. Psych. The other team got the work and we managed to clutch up.
Behind you. It's done. Get on top of them. Oh my god. One below.
try down here. Oh, that's nice. Oh, look at that. There you go. I'll leave a note for you. There you go. There you go. Or you can just not hit it. I'm on the road for your movie, so. Okay, have fun. Your car is the only car sticking out. Hey, what's your name? You see, buddy? You got the number right there. Yeah, I got it. Hey, learn how to drive. All right. There you go. Display WL25026. Yeah, you can pay for it. Here's ours.
How much money TikTok has paid Charlie Million? If you don't know, TikTok released its creator fund in the middle of August, where they pay creators about 2 cents per 1,000 views. As Charlie is the biggest creator on the platform, over the last 30 days, she's released 82 videos, gained over 7.1 million followers, and has been viewed 4.21 billion times. At 2 cents per 1,000 views, this means Charlie has made $84,143 over the last 30 days on TikTok. Follow for part 2.
Oh my god, this is a giant walleye. This is a giant walleye, Chris. This is like record kind of walleye. Are you recording?
Yeah, I'm recording. I don't know if I'm
Alright, just relax. It's like, could be the biggest one I've had ever.
Oh,
And I've caught massive sized walleyes here. Oh my god. Dude, look at this thing. Look at this thing. Just be quiet. Oh my god. Look at this thing. This is a walleye.
I'm at McDonald's and I'm about to order the snoop dog meal. You can only order this in Long Beach. Yeah, can I get the snoop dog meal? Thank you. And that's it. $5.79. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. All right, good. All right, let's see what the snoop dog burger's about. Oh, wow, what the heck? I'm gonna get so freaking high.
Lay them out like this. You use a nail gun, not in your foot. You put it in here. Knock it out. Ready? Ready? You do it like this. You make it up straight. You make sure you put the appropriate nails in the appropriate spot. I don't know why it's talking like this, but it helps.
That's the world's fastest Reaper.
That's how you do it.
Whoops.
All right, guys, check it out. Strands done. We'll pull them out of the drain. Check it out. After this, we'll go ahead, throw them in ice chest. Ice chest goes the rest of the kitchen. Go ahead, dump them right on in the chest.
Hey, John, want to hear a joke? Yeah. Little Johnny was stuck out on a desert island with nothing
not
but
little
a
Johnny.
pig and a pig. And after about a week, that pig started looking really good. So, little Johnny tried to get a little frisky with that pig, but every time he'd pull his pants down, that pit bull bite him in the ass. A couple of weeks go by, and Johnny tries to do it again, and that pit bull just comes up and bites him. Well, he notices off on the horizon, there's this dinghy out there. So he swims out there, and there's this beautiful blonde, and she's passed out from dehydration, and he brings her back and nurses her to health, and she's feeling great. She says, is there anything I can do to repay you? He says, yeah. You mind taking that pit bull for a walk?
Caution, taxiway. Caution, taxiway. Caution, taxiway. Caution, taxiway. Five thousand feet remaining. 4,000 remaining.
Yeah, you gotta be fast.
Get ready, go. Yeah, come on, go.
Who am I watching it?
I found out at 26 that I was in the special needs class in middle school. Not good. Not good at all. Because we were talking, she's like, Joe, what'd you do for foreign language in school? And I was like, well, in high school I took language, but before that I didn't. And she's like, okay, what'd you take instead? And I was like, well, I took the focus class. She's like, okay, what's the focus class? I was like, well, the focus class is where we learn to pay better attention and be better students. And she was like, okay, well, how many people took that class? And I was like, 4. She's like, how many people taught the class? And I was like,
Goal time. Let him know. Make sure he grants it. Justin, he granted your time? Make sure he grants it to you.
My sister will slap the fuck out. And I heard it's over a nigga. Yeah, I'll slap that nigga too. So let him know. Hell yeah, let him know. Dirty ass bitch. Dirty ass bitch. But fuck my bro. Stop playing. I ain't put nobody on. Stop playing, dirty ass bitch. It's a minor so do not release the
Hopefully everybody's Sunday is good.
Oh my god.
Is there any questions so far?
Professor,
Yeah, go ahead.
I can't see the screen.
You can't see the screen.
No.
Can anyone else not see the screen?
I can.
The key wheel around the units. We're doing about 90 now. Portland County Sheriff's Deputy Matthew Marcus to any where the any assistance in stopping the vehicle that we're pursuing. Yeah, when you're going to try to stop there, officer. We're attempting to stop the red car in the fast lane. It's coming up on you here pretty quick. Can't go on, man. Don't wreck your truck or anything. We just want to slow them down. We don't want to wreck your truck or anything like that. Can't go on, guys. We're over to the left lane now.
Back from 1993 is when this video was.
Yeah, he's going over all the way to the right. He's slowing down now. Okay, we got him now. Can't go on. Let him get in.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but when I heard that America was planning on buying Greenland, I was just like everybody else. I was like, what the heck? And the media didn't help to explain.
Welcome to Audit the Audit, where we sort out the who and what and the right and wrong of police interactions. This episode covers investigatory detainment, unreliable witnesses, and officer conduct, and is brought to us by Green Valley News' channel. Be sure to check out the description below and give them the credit that they deserve. At approximately 6:30 a.m. on August 6, 2019, 22-year-old Freedom Fendler stopped at a Walmart in Sahuarita, Arizona while on his way to work at a nearby car dealership. Mr. Fendler parked his bike near the entrance and went into the store without removing any of his riding gear, including his helmet. It should also be noted that Mr. Fendler was listening to music through Bluetooth headphones inside his helmet. Shortly after entering the store, Mr. Fendler was briefly approached by one of the managers, but Mr. Fendler fails to acknowledge their presence and continues walking. The manager stalls for a moment, and approximately 1 minute later, he approaches Mr. Fendler from behind, but he is ignored again. Mr. Fendler continued shopping for another 10 minutes, and after checking out and stopping at a bench inside the store to organize his backpack, he was confronted by several officers of the Sahuarita Police Department.
Bud, you got some ID on you? Hey. Hey. Got some ID on you? Yeah, some ID on you. Yeah, man. They got phone. Just do it. You're not going to speak with us. You're on.
At this point, the officers have initiated an investigatory detainment, and Mr. Fendler surrenders his identification without question or protest. The legality of wearing a helmet inside Walmart is irrelevant. The real issue at hand is whether the officers have reasonable suspicion to believe that Mr. Fendler is trespassing, and given that the manager who called 911 said that they had asked Mr. Fendler to leave several times, it is likely that the officers would be within their authority to detain and investigate him. As with many states, citizens in Arizona are required to state their name if a police officer suspects them of committing a crime under Arizona Revised Statute 13-2412. And Mr. Fendler would have been required to state his name if he had peacefully surrendered his ID. It is important to note that Mr. Fendler is detained because this is when his Fourth Amendment protections come into play. The Supreme Court has dedicated many rulings to developing a legal framework that distinguishes between lawful and unlawful arrests. And over the years, the precedent has become more formalized and developed. In the 1968 case,
Yeah, for those of you who didn't see last night, we are
not all personal intercourse between
1,200 behind in rent because of stupid ass bullshit.
Quote, only when the officer,
Thanks to G Unit for his $10 donation last night as well.
Restrain the liberty of a citizen, may we conclude that a seizure has occurred. In the decades between the Terry ruling and the 1991 case of Florida versus Bostic, the reasonable suspicion standard underwent many changes and eventually evolved into a reasonable perception approach. In the Bostic case, the court held that the appropriate inquiry to determine whether a citizen has been seized is, quote, whether a reasonable person would feel free to decline the officer's requests or otherwise terminate the encounter. Given that Mr. Fendler was surrounded by officers and was ordered to present his identification and remove his helmet, it is likely that a court would consider him detained and entitled to constitutional protection.
Now they're gonna get him on. Now they're gonna get this guy on support.
They said they used it for his helmet. I'm right up there right now. Stood right there. No, so did you see the manager basically walk up right to your face and ask you to take off your helmet? How did you not see that? I saw him talking, but he's got a headset on. Right next to you. Right next to you. I came up and I said, sir, I thought you were going this way. I didn't hear. I said, stop. I followed you halfway throughout the store.
I have discussed the efficacy of eyewitness testimony in a previous episode, which I will link in the info card above, so I won't spend too much time on it in this episode. But it should be noted that witnesses can be extremely unreliable, and the manager's recollection of events is a testament to that. First, the manager claims that he walked right up to Mr. Fendler and implied that Mr. Fendler intentionally ignored him. As you can see from the surveillance footage, the manager makes a subtle gesture at Mr. Fendler, but remains outside of his field of view for the majority of the encounter. It is easy to see how Mr. Fendler may have been unaware that the manager was trying to speak to him, considering that he was wearing headphones and his view was restricted by the helmet. Next, the manager claims that he followed Mr. Fendler halfway through the store, telling him to stop. But once again, the cameras show that this statement is inaccurate. Although the manager did follow Mr. Fendler across the store, he approached Mr. Fendler from behind the second time and gave up after being ignored again. The manager implied that there was no way Mr. Fendler could have missed him, even with the headphones on. But the camera footage shows that it is entirely possible that Mr. Fendler was unaware of the manager's presence. Without questioning any other witnesses, reviewing any security footage, or getting Mr. Fendler's side of the story, the officers began their questioning by assuming the manager was being truthful. The officers also allowed the manager to interrogate Mr. Fendler in the midst of their investigation, which only added to the escalation of the interaction. Mr. Fendler continues to answer questions, and for a moment it seems as though he may get the opportunity to explain himself.
Let me ask you something. What's the purpose of keeping the helmet on?
It's just faster to get to work, man. Like so.
Where do you work at?
Work at Chick-fil-A.
Okay. So you walked through the store, what'd you buy?
I bought a sandwich, a Gatorade, 2 peaches, a scrubber, I think 4 pens, a toothbrush.
Okay.
That's it.
So you just kept it.
That's it.
So you keep the helmet on, you walk around,
I do that.
grab all this stuff.
I go over to other things. Fries.
I mean, he knows I know because I ride. He rides.
Yeah.
It doesn't take much effort to take it off, put it back on. I mean, it takes maybe like 5 seconds, 10 seconds if
It
that.
doesn't, man, but I've never had any issues where I was like, take it off, or a sign saying that you need to have it off. And like I said,
That's why the manager asked you to take it off.
like I said, I didn't hear him. I had used the flamethrower.
You didn't see me standing right in front of you.
I saw you there, and then I saw you caught, But like, yeah, you have a headset on, so I can't put my hands on you to get your attention. I'm standing right next to you. I didn't. Just like I'm standing here, the officer come next to me, stood right in front of you. Just like I'm standing here, I said, I need you to stop and listen to me. You don't ignore me, keep walking there. I got associates that were upset and concerned because you're walking around with a backpack with a helmet. Nobody knows who you are. I'm concerned about the safety of my associates. You're an argumentative person, and I'm not the person you want to argue with. You need to take your head, and you need to go like this and put your head out here. Because you're walking around in a store hiding your face. There's shooters that go on all over the place. This man comes up to you, and you want to play. You got a little set of headpiece going on that you can't stop. You need to listen to learn, not listen to reply. You need to turn that little switch off in your brain that you want to run your mouth and argue every time somebody tells you something. Because this is disturbing the peace. You can go to jail and not go to work. So what's the choice you're going to make, hardhead? You're going to quit walking around businesses with a helmet on, staring at a lot of people to where you got massive cops all over the place, rifles outside waiting for a shooter to come out? Laugh. But that's where we're at. So pull your head out of your and quit arguing every time somebody tells you something. I'm telling you, look at what you're doing. You keep wanting to argue with me. I'm not the guy you want to argue with.
He's not even arguing.
That's why you keep talking. Stop talking. Okay, fine.
This is Officer John George, and his emotional outburst did nothing to progress the investigative intent in Mr. Fendler's detainment.
Wow.
In fact, it hindered the officer's ability to build a complete contextual narrative around the accusations being
okay.
made.
Love you too, babe.
Not only was Officer George's reprimand unprofessional and uncalled for, but it also violated Mr. Fendler's First Amendment right to free speech. In the 1987 case of Houston versus Hill, the Supreme Court held that citizens have a right to voice their opinions to or near police officers, whether or not they are in the performance of their duties. Mr. Fendler was detained when Officer George ordered him to stop talking, which essentially amounts to a government official depriving a citizen of free speech. There are also implications of Fourth Amendment violations associated with Officer George's conduct as well. In the 1983 Supreme Court case of Florida versus Royer, the court recognized that, quote, the scope of the detention must be carefully tailored to its underlying justification, and that, quote, the investigative methods employed should be the least intrusive means reasonably available to verify or dispel the officer's suspicion in a short period of time. Officer George's behavior served no investigative interest. Mr. Fendler was forced to listen to and obey the officer because he was being detained. Although unlikely, it is possible that a court could find that Officer George violated Mr. Fendler's Fourth Amendment rights by extending the length of the stop to lecture him and force him to be quiet. Many episodes of ATA have featured interactions where officers extend the duration of a detention to lecture the suspect. And although the Supreme Court has not directly ruled on the constitutionality of this conduct, prior cases indicate that it could arguably be viewed as a Fourth Amendment violation. Whether or not it was a violation of rights, Officer George's tantrum was completely unprofessional and uncalled for. Once Officer George calms down, the manager and the officers continue to question Mr. Fendler, but he decides to remain silent.
Moving on, Ricky. Do you have his info? I'll just see if you're on trespass. Okay, so officially getting trespassed from the store. Don't come back to Walmart. Come back to Walmart. Manager, anyone sees you, you get arrested for that. Yes. But we don't have to take your taken with helmet. You always want somebody to be on the camera. What's your phone number? Do I have to write that? Yes, you did. All right. I got the thing. What else did I find? Keep in mind, if you come in here again, you'll be arrested and you'll book for trespassing. You understand? What he's telling you, trespassing from Walmart is a national system. You're not just trespassing this Walmart, it's trespassing all Walmarts and Sam's Clubs. Okay? So understand that. If something happens, you get pulled over or stopped in one of them other ones for wearing your helmet for stupid stuff like that, you find yourself sitting in time. It didn't have to be like that. But how many other people you see going to business walking around with a motorcycle on them? Especially with the shootings in Daytona and freaking El Paso just happening. Your goal is people are going to be on edge. They're going to be scared. They're going to be worried, okay? You got someone that walks in wearing a motorcycle helmet and has a backpack with military camouflage. They're going to think otherwise. They're not going to think it's just some law biases. You can see how that looks. It's like common, it's kind of like common sense. I mean, like I said, he rides, I ride. I always take my helmet off. I mean, does it really save you that much time? Today, did it?
How old are you? Health issues or anything? How old are you? Tell me how old you are. Tell me how old you are. Hey, you're acting like a little child. How many times did you ask her to leave? At least
I walk half the store all the way to front to the side.
Oh my gosh.
I'm thinking about it. The way he's acting, he has to find some time to leave all the time. Or I'll just consider this a version. So, poor behavior.
Mr. Fendler was arrested, charged with disorderly conduct, and taken to the Pima County Adult Detention Center, where he was detained for 17 hours. Following the encounter, Mr. Fendler's charges were dismissed, and he went on to file a lawsuit claiming that he was illegally searched, falsely arrested, maliciously prosecuted, and publicly defamed by the department. According to the Green Valley News, as of September 1st, 2020, both the town of Sahuarita and the Sahuarita Police Department deny any wrongdoing and have moved to dismiss the lawsuit. A judge has yet to rule on the dismissal, and Mr. Fendler's lawsuit is still ongoing. Overall, the Sahuarita officers get an F for neglecting to conduct a thorough and legitimate investigation, for being hostile and condescending throughout the interaction, and escalating what could have been a trespass warning into an arrest for disorderly conduct. The officers utterly failed to conduct an investigation into what actually took place, and essentially arrested Mr. Fendler for being quiet after being told to do so. That being said, the societal context of Mr. Fendler's actions cannot be ignored. And although the Walmart managers may have overreacted, their fears were somewhat justified.
Yeah,
This
just a little
interaction
bit.
took place just days after the El Paso Walmart shooting that claimed the lives of 23 individuals and injured 23 more. So it is somewhat understandable why they would feel uneasy. However, that does not excuse the managers lying or the conduct of the officers. Condescending lectures are not part of the mission of police stuff, and there is.
Wow.
Chat donations and like Walter in the arena ending on the let's get some games. USA insurance for this season. When
Being a fan on a budget gets tough. So fumble back into the end zone for a safety. Wow, this is okay. So here's Spain. This is the whole. There's a lot to Jack digest. Washington recovered the football, brought it out of the end zone, fumbled it into the end zone, which makes it a safety. So this will be under review. This is a very interesting sequence of fumble in the end zone. I need you to let this referee do his job, man. We don't need all your benches behind us.
So, Morelli makes a call facing the wrong way. The referees want to measure, but the ball was 2 yards short of the first half.
Johnny Manziel's football star playing the lead role. $100 bill. Look at that reaction right there. What just happened? A, Johnny Manziel threw a touchdown pass. B, ran for a first down.
C, sacked it, penalty.
If you get C, you got it right. Johnny Manziel backs up, gets sacked. Big smash there is going to save it. This is the reaction after you get knocked out of the back of the end zone.
It's halftime mascot game. The coach mascot protect the game. This is Pop Warner Cans a little too serious. Hey, now bullying. Now there's a look at Detroit Colorado over the top. Now Blue is serious about this. In the Metrodome. The go, forget the screen. One stiff arm, Marcellin Lynch. He's going beast mode on AJ Green play. X6, he could go all the way. William Gay. Now, coach used to say, act like you've been there. I don't know if that's the bunny hop. I don't know. You're talking about celebrate 22 seconds. You're talking about happy all fans. Dancing around. They throw a flag for celebration.
Wow.
Let me take it a little bit more. Let me run it out. Let me wheel it. Hey, bro, how you doing? Penalty on them. So,
Please, last Monday night, Devontae Freeman takes the sweep to the left on third down, running out of bounds. Bumps it. Man, you just barely touched the audio guy. Take another look at this. Audio guy, are you kidding me? And look what falls down. Pair of glasses in the yard sale. I got $100 for the cell phone and the glasses. Audio guy, you barely fell. Audio guy.
for the Bengals,
Come on, man.
nothing, and he decides he's gonna try a little Lambo leap, but only this time it's in Cleveland. But the dog pounds me his note with a little. Take another look at this right here. Get out of here. Here's coach in here, and here's why. It looks like a pick by the Rams, and Arrington would challenge him. But you know what? Someone is offensive line. Don't get that off the field. You know, I didn't have to wear it red. They deliver she's camouflage and hide. I didn't look. I nobody sees. I didn't challenge rep. I really didn't. Now look, here's the explanation for Bruce. You gotta love looking. I don't know what night. Station Texas late in the fourth quarter. A&M needs a score, but the quarterback throws an interception on the LSU sideline. Coach Ed Orgeron gets a Gatorade bath. But wait, after review, the quarterback knee was down, negating the turnover.
Oh no.
The Aggies got some time. They forced overtime. Not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, Charles. No, baby. 7 overtime. Like graduation Gatorade. And guess what? LSU lost. Spirit Squad, the Roughnecks celebrate the score. But look at this dude trying to show off his ab muscle. Dragging behind the wagon. But wait a minute. Can somebody help me up? It's getting a little hot. It's getting a little hot. Help me out. Now, y'all got to find a better way to celebrate. Soon as Spirit Squad, get the man in the wagon. Do it like you're supposed to do it. Yeah. And some could say Carolina's defense was asleep. But defensive tackle it might actually be asleep.
That's actually funny.
Man, y'all gave me all this talk about a disgusting act by me. This man just fooled the whole country. I tell you what, Tyler, man, you made a play for your team. I need a better strap on than on your waist, man. Tyler, give me something better. Back for the Statue of Liberty play. Oh, wait a minute. That wasn't the Statue of Liberty play. That was a strip fumble. Marshall Newhouse. Man, you weren't going to be a running back. Don't put your hands on that football no more, man. Look at you in the air like a helicopter.
Well, damn.
Ohio State, Caleb Blakemore, kicking off for the Cornhuskers, but as you see, the kick goes absolutely nowhere. Oh, not exactly. For Caleb Blakemore. Come on, man.
Michael Thomas takes the pass, takes the 72 yards for the ceiling of the game. But wait, he has Morris Thorne. He goes to the goalpost. I hear somebody's phone ring. The man put a cell phone under the goalpost. I New York Giants. Odell Beckham doing what he does, make a great surface catch, man. This dude is awesome. But you know, OBJ loves the kids. Oh, yeah. He throws the ball to the kids. But wait a minute. Rewind that one more time. Man, that's the biggest 8-year-old I've ever seen in my life. Now, you know good and well he wasn't throwing that ball to you. He was
Damn.
Bounce the ball, but check this out. He kicks the ball, but what happens? He kicks it when the sun don't shine. Oh, no. And two in a row. Here he is on a cover. That's a call. Yeah, I was one to go. Score the ball, we're going to score.
And exactly how did that work out? How did that go?
Well, it didn't go as planned that year. That was 2003. Takes the right, goes right, then reverses left, and picks up an unlikely block. Oh, wait a minute. Who's that? If you listen closely, you can hear Brady say, put some respect on my name. Put some respect on my name. I'm the GOAT, baby. Don't touch me. To Taylor Gabriel, incomplete, but Kiko Alonso catches Gabriel and carries him for like 10 yards. Take another look. Gabriel leaps to make the catch, but he's caught midair by Alonso, and he gets taken for a ride like, bro, let go. But what are you holding on to? Let me go. Osweiler intercepted by Drake Kirkpatrick.
Yeah, I'll be back live later on this evening, guys. We're gonna be probably be playing some War Thunder again. So I'll see you guys later. We'll be live on Twitch.